The Bungie Weekly Update just released and has tons of Witch Queen information, including the new power cap, when the raid is going to release, changes to blue drops throughout the environment, exotic changes, and a lot more you won't want to miss. Welcome on in, Guardians. This is the Bungie Weekly Update for January 20th, 2022. The link can be found down below if you'd like to read it for yourself. Let's get right into the new information. Bungie first starts by detailing the new power levels for the Witch Queen expansion. For those new players, here is some terminology for you. The floor is the lowest possible power for a piece of gear. This is where you start out if you're playing on a new character. The soft cap is the point at which general drops stop being automatic upgrades. Powerful gear drops are now the best way to gain power, so the purple ones. Power cap is the point at which powerful rewards stop being upgrades and you need pinnacle gear to level up from there. And the hard cap is the max possible power from pinnacle drops, ignoring your artifact power. Starting on February 22nd, the launch of Witch Queen, the power floor will be updated to 1350. So any new player who signs in will be the appropriate power levels to start the Witch Queen campaign. Even if you've taken a break from the game, it will be bumped up to 1350. Through general gameplay, players can reach the soft cap of 1500 by earning general gear through activity completions, chests, and more. This includes both rare or blue and legendary purple drops. Once reaching the soft cap, players will need to earn more powerful drops from vendor challenges and other objectives in the game. Once reaching the power cap of 1550, the only upgrades that players will find are from endgame activities that offer pinnacle rewards. And the final stretch to get from 1550 to 1560 will of course be through raids, Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and other endgame PvE sources. So essentially for returning players it works the same way. The power cap is 1550, up from 1350, and if you are a new player or haven't played in a while, you'll be ready to jump in when the action begins. Speaking of some of those rare or blue reward drops, those will be changing in Witch Queen, thank the Traveler. So blue or rare rewards will stop dropping from playlist activities, which is Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit, once players reach the soft cap. Players above 1500 power in the Witch Queen will instead see slightly increased chance of receiving legendary rewards or a small amount of legendary shards. So in summary, you still will receive some blue armor and drops, but they hope this will reduce the need for players to manage their inventories and reduce the frequency of visits to the postmaster when running playlist activities. As always, these things aren't easy in game design and they could have some other changes down the line. They aren't expecting any major changes in the next few seasons, but we'll be spending some time behind the scenes thinking about the future of those blue rare drops. Next up, Banshee 44 is getting a new reputation system that matches the other vendors in the tower, such as what Zavala and Shaxx currently have. So this means removing some of the current items in Banshee's inventory, like gunsmith materials and weapon telemetries. Players will now earn reputation rank progress with Banshee when dismantling legendary and exotic weapons and armor, or by completing daily gunsmith bounties. So if you're like me and you hoard gunsmith materials, like 30,000 of them, you may want to take a visit to Banshee and spend those before February 22nd. Any of these materials that are not spent will just be removed from your inventory. Starting in Witch Queen, weapon and armor mods sold by Banshee and 801 respectively will no longer require mod components, as mod components are being removed from the game. Instead, these will cost 10,000 glimmer each. Here's a look at some ghost mods that generated weapon telemetries that are being removed as they no longer serve a purpose. With the Tangled Shore being vaulted and the Spider as well, Master Rahul will be taking over the material exchange duties. Exchange rates should match what you know from the Spider, but these services are being shifted to the tower as the Tangled Shore will obviously be off limits to Guardians. In addition, Rahul will be picking up some of the wares that Banshee 44 and 801 once offered, specifically the sale of enhancement prisms and Ascendant shards. These will be at the same price that those previous vendors once sold them at. Also, a new change is that Master Rahul will be able to decrypt umbral engrams, so you will not have to hop between the helm and the tower if you want to decrypt those, and you have a lot building up in your inventory. Focusing for individual seasonal weapons and armor will live on with seasonal vendors in the helm moving forward. So if you want to focus on a specific weapon from a given season, you'll still need to go to the helm for decryption. Also being vaulted in the Witch Queen will be the Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale missions. And instead of just throwing these in the Monument to Lost Lights, they're instead going to be added to Xur's inventory each weekend, allowing you to get some different rolls. Every week, Xur will offer a unique roll for both Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale and will be purchasable to all players that own Beyond Light for the following materials. Also being changed is the Hawkmoon DMT and Ager's Scepter Catalyst, which will be moved to playlist activities, which is Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit completions. In addition to these three, they've also added the ability for 3 catalysts that have been absent from Destiny 2 to drop from playlist activities as well. Here is the full list. The Witch Queen, of course, has a new raid. While they still have time before the announcements on all of that, we don't know the name of this raid yet. We do know what time and day it will release, on March 5th, 2022 at 10 AM Pacific time. Beyond that, we don't have much information besides additional details on contest mode and Bungie rewards to come in the future. Before we wrap this up, let's talk about bounties. If some of you are bounty hoarding out there, you want to pay attention to this right here. Iron Banner bounties will not be removed at the end of this season. Bounties acquired and completed during this season will be retained after the Witch Queen releases. Bounties from Season of the Lost, though, will be capped at 1350 power and not give players any power bonus for next season upon redemption. These bounties will be removed at the end of Season 16 as Saladin will be taking his turn in our rollout of vendor reworks, and there will be one final Iron Banner a week before Witch Queen releases, so if you want to do those bounties, there's your chance to complete them. As you can expect, seasonal bounties related to the past seasons of The Hunt, Chosen, Splicer, and Lost will be removed at the end of the season, and also some daily bounties from general activities or destinations may be removed depending on their objectives. An example of some of those would be a handful of Drifter or Gunsmith bounties being looked at for some vendor work. They say if you do not want to lose your rewards, we highly recommend you turn in your bounties before a new year of Destiny content hits the servers. While some of you are looking to rank up your artifact a bit faster than others, we expect many of your mod unlocks to come from completing the campaign and jumping into quests and activities afterwards. Take your time, you'll unlock all the goodies. We have no doubts. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.